to show you something before that, because else you don't know what PWM is. So let's go to Chromium. So who of you has heard about PWM? What does it stand for? Pulse width modulation. So do you have a short explanation, or shall I give one? Why do we need pulse width modulation? It's basically not really the output voltage. It's creating an analog signal on a digital signal where the voltage is kind of always the same, but you just put it to high quickly and then put it down to low. So let's very quickly give Wikipedia a shot and search for pulse width modulation. Because there are some nice pictures here. So if you look at duty cycle. So basically, on a digital port, you can only send low and high, or 0 and 1s. And if you want to do something analog, something in between, the only way you can do is basically, switching quickly between 0s and 1s on there. And that allows you, to simulate that you have less than a 1 there at a point. So we will later make a test in the lab where we use an LED and basically play with this. And then you can see that the LED gets dimmer and dimmer. So here you see what I mean with that. So if you call this the duty cycle, so it depends on how much is this thing actually on 1. And you see here that with 50%, it's half the time off and half the time on. And then 75%, it's 75% on, 25% off. And analog here. So there's another term, which is called frequency. So basically, if you do work with PWM, you work with duty cycles and frequency. What do you think is the frequency? It's basically how often you can switch up and down in here.
The cycles per second, a full cycle per second, or how many cycles per second?
So how often you can switch actually on and off per second. Exactly. So if we would basically take this 25% here as a frequency, then we would have a frequency basically of 4, and say the 100% is basically 1 second, then we can switch 4 times. So it would have a frequency of 4 here in this example that you see. So these are the 2 values you can play with when we do work with PWM, and you can use that to actually dim LEDs, to control motors, and basically it's a way to do something analog on a digital port. And the funny thing is, if you use the Arduino IDE, you do actually an analog write to a digital port. So it uses the word analog in there. It's very confusing to write something analog to a digital port, but that means we are using PWM. Okay, so you have seen a couple of these videos. So just try to derive a generic rule now. What is it always when we want to attach a device in IoTempower? What do we have to do?